Convention.
Recognized from Illinois for the purpose of making a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Mark Shaw from Illinois, and I move that further reading of the call be dispensed with and that the secretary be instructed to incorporate the call at this point in the convention proceedings with the same force and effect as though read in full.
Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The question is on agreeing to the motion to dispense with the reading of the entire call for the convention and that the call be made part of the permanent record of the convention. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the motion is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The chair states that pursuant to the call and Rule 42 of the Rules of the Republican Party, as adopted by the 2020 Republican National Convention and as incorporated by the call for this convention, Rules 26 through 42 shall be the temporary rules of the convention. Vicki Drummond, Secretary of the Republican National Committee, has presented to the chair the temporary roll of delegates and alternates to the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the convention to elect its temporary chairman. Pursuant to the authority granted to me by the Republican National Committee, I nominate as the temporary chairman of the convention, the Honorable Henry McMaster, Governor of South Carolina, the Honorable Brenna Byrd, Attorney General of Iowa, and the Honorable Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Senate Republican leader. All those in favor of electing Governor McMaster, Attorney General Byrd, and Leader McConnell as the temporary chairman signify by saying aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. The chair appoints the following individuals to the escort committee for the temporary chairman: Peggy McMaster of South Carolina, Bob Byrd of Iowa, and the Honorable Elaine Chao of Kentucky. The chair has been presented with the names of the temporary officers of the convention as prepared by the Republican National Committee. The chair now recognizes the delegate from Oklahoma for the purposes of offering a resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I am Pam Pollard from Oklahoma, and I offer the following resolution for immediate consideration. Resolved that the officers presented and elected as temporary officers of the Republican National Convention. Mr. Chairman, I yield the balance of my time and move for the previous question of the resolution.
Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to begin a very important part of our program. I would like to ask that the aisles be cleared and the delegates please take their seats. Thank you. First, we will take up the report of the Committee on Credentials. And to do so, I am pleased to introduce Joe Gruters, delegate from Florida and chairman of the Committee on Credentials, to present the committee's report. Joining him is Jeannie Lucky, delegate from Mississippi and co-chair of the Committee on Credentials.
Mr. Chairman, it is my privilege at this time to offer the following resolution and ask for its immediate consideration. Resolved that the temporary role of delegates and alternate delegates as presented to the convention become the permanent role of the convention, and that the roll be considered as read. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I am honored to yield my time to the chairman of the Committee on Credentials, Joe Gruters.
Let's go, Team Florida. Thank you, Madam Co-Chair. Mr. Chairman, it has been my privilege to serve as the chairman of the Committee on Credentials. Alongside my co-chair, Jeannie Lucky, the Republican National Committee's contest met to consider contests properly filed with the Secretary of the Republican National Committee. The committee issued recommendations which were submitted to the Republican National Committee on July the 10th, 2024. The Republican National Committee adopted the committees on contests recommendations, which were incorporated into the temporary rule and forwarded to the Convention Committee on Credentials. One appeal was taken before this Committee on Credentials. Following that appeal, the committee voted to seat the delegates of Missouri as originally certified. These changes were incorporated into the temporary rule. On behalf of all of us who have the privilege of serving as members of the Convention Committee on Credentials, it is my honor to certify the delegates and alternates to this convention who will serve to nominate the next president in the United States, President Donald J. Trump. Mr. Chairman, I yield back the balance of my time and move the previous question on the resolution.
Without objection, the previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed signify by saying no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it and the resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Congratulations to all of our delegates and alternates. The chair is now proud to introduce Jeff Kent, delegate from Washington and chairman of the Committee on Rules and Order of Business, to present the committee's report. Joining Mr. Kent are the co-chairs of the Committee on Rules and Order of Business, Brian Jack from Georgia, and Julianne Murray, delegate from Delaware and chairwoman of the Delaware Republican Party.
Mr. Chairman, fellow delegates, I offer the following resolution and ask for its immediate consideration. Resolved that the rules as printed and distributed be adopted as the rules for the election and the governing of the Republican National Committee, the rules under which delegates and alternate delegates shall be elected, selected, and allocated, and the rules which serve as the rules of the Republican National Convention. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I am honored to yield my time to my fellow co-chair, Brian Jack.
Well, thank you, Co-Chair Murray. My name is Brian Jack. I'm from Fayette County, Georgia, and I've had the privilege of spending the last 8 years of my life working for the greatest president of our lifetime, President Donald J. Trump. It has been my honor to serve as
Euronews. Las noticias.
Temporary roll of delegates and alternates to the temporary roll of delegates and alternates to the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time.
Autobús en la zona.
We believe that President Donald J. Trump will be the first Republican in a generation who will win New York State. It is my
más, como decimos, pues esos valores térmicos con temperaturas que llegarán a los 40 grados ya el jueves en varios